On December 17, 1938, a German ship, the SS Schwabenland, was sent to Antarctica for a secret mission. The mission was to find a lost alien civilization that had been hiding in a secret base in Antarctica for thousands of years. They were called the Aryans. The ship reached the Antarctic coast about a month later. For the next 3 weeks, the team mapped hundreds of thousands of square miles of the continent. During aerial reconnaissance about 150 miles inland from the Antarctic coast, they saw an area they called the Arctic Oasis, an area of about 300 square miles that was completely different from the rest of Antarctica, because there was no ice, but green grass, warm water lakes, and fog-covered valleys. After that, the Germans saw a cave entrance there, and that's where they found the people of the Aryan civilization, who had been hidden from humans until then. They possessed many advanced technologies with which they were changing and living in the harsh environment of Antarctica, according to their needs. The Nazi German army and government contacted them, and with their help, built their own secret base there, which was named Base 211. But when Germany was on the verge of defeat during the Second World War, the importance of this secret Antarctic base grew, and many Nazi officials and government officers decided to hide there. But after the end of the Second World War, when America learned that German officers were hiding in an advanced base in Antarctica, they decided to launch a major attack on them. For this, America launched a mission called Operation Highjump, in which thousands of soldiers, helicopters, tanks, and bombers were sent to Antarctica to destroy the German secret base and the officials hidden there. But the American army that reached Antarctica encountered such mysterious powers that they couldn't even last a few days. American soldiers saw advanced UFO planes flying out of that secret Nazi base and attacking them. These planes could cover thousands of kilometers in an instant and would suddenly disappear. Sonar couldn't see them, nor could radar catch them. They were invisible to our technology. The result of this was that the mission, which was planned for about 6 months, returned to America in defeat after only 40 days, following a battle with alien UFOs and the death of hundreds of soldiers. But the question arises, whose were those aliens and UFOs? Did America really find the Nazis' secret alien base? And is there really an Aryan alien civilization hidden under the ice of Antarctica? And why did Admiral Byrd end this 6-month mission in just 40 days? We will learn the whole story in today's episode. So hello guys, let's begin another new episode in that white, snow-covered world of Antarctica, where there is no sign of humans. A sudden sight appears that changes the entire history of mankind. A huge ship was cutting through the ice and emerging from under the Antarctic continent. But there was no record of it on the radar. The sensors of the American ships standing on the distant horizon suddenly stopped working. It was as if someone had turned off the Earth's entire magnetic field for a moment. Operation Highjump, the beginning of a new war. This scene is from the year 1947, when the world believed that the Second World War was over. But a new war was about to begin in the depths of this icy continent. A war fought between humans and some unknown power. And to fight that unknown power, America launched the largest mission in history at that time, Operation Highjump. It was officially called a scientific expedition. But the truth was that this mission was not just for research. It was sent to find a mysterious enemy hidden beneath Antarctica. 13 ships, 33 airplanes, many helicopters, submarines, and 5,000 soldiers were sent to Antarctica for this fight. Their only job was to destroy the Nazis' secret base and fully assert their authority over Antarctica. America had tried many times before to claim Antarctica, but this time it got an opportunity, and it had no idea that this time it would face not only the Nazi army, but a secret civilization in front of which both American technology and army would collapse. And finally, the whole world would have to sign a treaty to protect Antarctica, abandoning the dream of occupying it. But what exactly happened to America in Antarctica? Jen. The responsibility for the entire Operation Highjump was in the hands of Admiral Richard E. Byrd, the same person who was considered the most decorated officer of the U.S. Navy. He had awards like the Medal of Honor, Navy Cross, and Flying Cross. The American government was fully confident that Byrd would return only after defeating the Nazis hidden in Antarctica with his army. But before understanding the truth of this mission, we need to go back a bit, towards the Nazi German secret Antarctic base. As mentioned at the beginning, in 1938, Hitler sent the ship named Schwabenland to the South Pole. The purpose of that voyage was presented to the world as a scientific expedition. But the real motive was to find an Aryan civilization and with their advanced secret technology, create a base in Antarctica where any German officer or soldier could be safe from attack. This was that German secret base, Base 211. America realized the existence of this base when one of Germany's most notorious officers, Hans Kammler, suddenly disappeared in the last days of the war. He was last seen in Argentina, South America. Hans was the person who was overseeing Hitler's secret weapons program. Kammler's engineers had secretly built a prototype long-distance aircraft called the Ju-390, which had a flight range of more than 4,000 miles. Only 2 prototypes of this aircraft were built. One of them was with Kammler. Now, when Germany's defeat in the war was certain, and America began a lawsuit against Kammler, he suddenly disappeared in April 1945 with his Ju-390 aircraft. The American government tried to find him and his ship, whose last location was near the Antarctic Ocean, but neither the ship nor Hans Kammler was ever found. The rise of UFO sightings and America's decision. Sometime after this incident, strange things began to happen in South America and several parts of the world. People suddenly reported seeing UFOs in the sky, and many claimed that those UFOs had a swastika, or Nazi symbol, on them. These incidents stunned the American Army. They prepared a detailed list of all these UFO sightings, which revealed a strange pattern. Most of these sightings occurred in South America, and many UFO traces were found linked to Antarctica. And this was the moment when America recalled the Antarctic scientific expedition conducted by the German Army in 1938. When the American Army retrieved the documents of that old mission, it was clearly written in them that Germany had built a massive secret base in Antarctica, in collaboration with a secret alien civilization. This would become a safe military base for the German Army after the Second World War, where they would hide and, with the help of the advanced technology of those Aryan aliens, further improve their weapons and war techniques. And one day, they would attack America and the whole world again. And this was the moment when America understood that if they were to prevent this future attack, they would have to go to Antarctica and destroy that German secret military base. And this is where Operation Highjump was born. The confrontation in Antarctica. Now this is where our story brings us back to the year 1947, when America dispatched its fleet with its biggest weapons, thousands of soldiers, and full equipment towards Antarctica. When the Army reached Antarctica, the main base called Little America 4 was established on the Ross Ice Shelf. Machines ran day and night. A runway was prepared. Communication systems were set up, but every soldier had one question. How would they fight the German army in such a cold and harsh environment? Before fighting them, the task was to find the location of Germany's secret military base. For this, a reconnaissance plane was dispatched from Little America to search around Antarctica. That aircraft saw a strange structure flying over the mountains inside Antarctica. The report stated that it was a round metallic dome-like structure amidst the ice. As soon as the plane reached over that area, its compass stopped working. When Admiral Byrd learned about this dome, he declared the secret area the contact area. A few days later, an even better aircraft was sent there for surveillance. Flying through the mountains, that ship saw several large and strangely shaped vessels parked near the dome-like secret structure. Their shape and design were exactly like the UFOs whose sightings had been reported earlier in South America and around the world. And when the pilot of that ship came and told Admiral Byrd this, he understood that he had probably found the Nazis' hidden military base, Base 211. Now, only one final confirmation remained, after which he would launch an attack with his entire army and weapons on the secret Nazi base hidden in the mountains. For this final confirmation, Byrd decided that he himself would fly a plane near the dome the next day and determine the location for a synchronized attack, along with all its entry and exit points. But he had no idea that the aliens and Nazis hidden in that secret alien base were already aware of America's presence, and were not going to wait until tomorrow like the Americans. The attack and the retreat. That day, as the sunlight diminished in Antarctica, some soldiers saw round lights moving over the sea. The lights slowly rose, and then suddenly plunged into the water. Some said it was an optical illusion of the auroras. Others called it a shooting star. But Admiral Byrd understood that these were the same UFOs whose presence on that secret dome base had been reported by the pilots, because these strangely illuminated aircraft were not natural at all. When they were looked at on radar, nothing could be seen, and these spacecraft were turning as if physics didn't apply to them. Sometimes they came very close to the Little America base, and sometimes they went far away. It was as if they had come to gauge the strength of the Americans and their preparations. While all this was going on, a powerful sonic boom occurred on the USS Philippine Sea. The largest American ship anchored in the sea a few miles away from the Operation Highjump base. The sudden attack caused significant damage to the ship, and several soldiers were killed. Upon receiving this news, Admiral Byrd ordered open firing on the strange UFO structures visible in the sky. Many rockets were launched, large caliber guns were fired, missiles were released, and even fighter aircraft and bombers were used. But the result was nothing. All those UFO aircraft remained completely intact. And here, Admiral Byrd noted another strange thing. These UFOs seemed not to be attacking the American base or ships with their full might. Rather, it seemed as if they merely wanted to test the American strength to see how much damage they could inflict. And as soon as they realized this, they suddenly vanished. Now Admiral Byrd had two options. Either wait for the UFOs to return at night and fight them at the Little America base, which would result in the greatest loss for the American Army. Because if these UFOs returned with their full power, they would destroy the entire American fleet in no time. The second option was to go and attack them directly before they arrived, and Admiral Byrd chose this path. The next day, when the weather was clear, he sent another reconnaissance aircraft near that secret Nazi bunker. About 15 minutes later, when the plane returned to the Little America base, the pilot's words stunned the entire American army. He reported that near the dome, about 100 meters deep beneath the ice, was a circular cavity with a diameter of about 2 kilometers. Metallic reflection was visible around that cavity, like the boundary of a structure. The thermal imaging showed that the temperature of that location was 20 degrees higher than the surrounding ice. It was as if there was a gigantic city beneath. That is, these observations proved that what America had considered a small Nazi base until now was actually an entire city built by advanced Nazis and hidden Aryan aliens. That is, their strength was many times greater than the American army's. Admiral Byrd's secret flight. After this, Admiral Byrd decided to go and see that dome with his own eyes. For this, he took a reconnaissance flight. As the pilots flying near this area had reported, a normal compass didn't work there. So he used a new navigation system that relied on the solar position, not the magnetic north. Admiral Byrd took off, and as soon as he reached the secret location in the hills, something happened to him that remains a mystery to the world even today. Just a few minutes after taking off, as soon as his plane entered those hills, his plane disappeared from Little America's powerful radar, and his radio suddenly went silent. This situation persisted for a full 3 hours. After 3 hours, his plane's signal suddenly reappeared on the radar from those hills, and Admiral Byrd landed safely at the Little America base with his ship. But now something had changed in him. He was extremely frightened. He was behaving abnormally. Several senior officers asked him, "Sir, what did you see there? How was your ship, which only had 1 hour of fuel, able to remain missing in the air for 3 hours? And should we attack that secret Nazi base?" But Admiral Byrd did not answer any soldier's or officer's question. He simply said one line, "Pack your bags, we are going back to America." And with this one fearful line, the mission that was planned for 6 months, and whose objective was to destroy the advanced Nazi base hidden in Antarctica, was terminated after only 40 days following that one decision by Admiral Byrd. And Admiral Byrd returned to America with his entire American fleet and war equipment. And as soon as they reached America, a lawsuit was immediately filed against him by the American government. Because when a newspaper asked him the reason for his sudden return after arriving in America, he said one line, that what is in Antarctica can launch such a big attack on any country in the world that humanity cannot stop. Therefore, he was strictly interrogated, and it was finally decided that the American government would classify all information about Operation Highjump, and that's what happened. All information was hidden from the world.
Every soldier present in this mission, with Admiral Byrd, was threatened that if they revealed anything related to this mission to the media, they would be severely punished. How did we and the world find out about this mission and the alien Nazis and secret Aryan civilization hidden in Antarctica?
Well, the reason was the diary that Admiral Byrd gave to his son before his death and asked him to bring its truth to the world.
The secret diary of Admiral Byrd.
Since Operation Highjump was classified, something had changed within Admiral Byrd. His health was continuously deteriorating. His blood pressure was rising rapidly. His heartbeat was abnormally fast. Doctors called it post-expedition stress. But Byrd knew that the reason was something else. At night, he would wake up repeatedly, seeing the same UFO scenes in his dreams, in which many of his fellow soldiers were killed in the attack. He realized that he didn't have much time left, and he didn't want to die taking this truth with him. One day, when he was resting at his house, he gave his son a small packet. That packet contained the diary whose pages had yellowed, but the words were still clear. And in it was recorded the entire story of what Admiral Byrd had seen with his own eyes during Operation Highjump. But what was written in that diary? What did Byrd see during his flight over Antarctica on the second day of the attack? Where was his plane missing in the air for 3 hours? The answers to all these questions were in that diary, which was published through a publisher by Admiral Byrd's son after his death in 1956. Byrd wrote, "After the big UFO attack last night and the death of many soldiers, I myself am preparing to fly a reconnaissance aircraft now. All systems are fine. At 8:15 a.m., I contacted the base camp and started the flight. At an altitude of 2,300 feet, everything was normal. But around 9:10 a.m., I saw some strange colored patterns in the ice. There was a dome amidst those hills of Antarctica. I circled over that area a few times so that everything could be seen more clearly. Suddenly, both my compasses began spinning rapidly, and the gyroscope also became unstable. Now navigation was entirely dependent on the sun's position. The controls felt heavy and sluggish, as if the plane had come under the pressure of some unknown force." Byrd further wrote, "Sometime later I logged in the flight log that a new mountain range, which I had never seen before, was visible ahead. When I flew over it, my mind went numb looking at the scene below. Below, there was no white snow, but a green meadow spread out. A river was flowing in the middle, and trees were growing on the slopes of the mountains. It seemed as if a warm valley was hidden beneath the ice. I reduced altitude and looked closely. There was greenery on the ground, and the light in that valley was coming from some strange source, because the sun was no longer visible in the sky. Still, everything was clearly visible. A little later, I saw a huge animal walking in the meadow. Initially, it looked like an elephant. But looking at its size and form, it seemed like a creature from some ancient age. Then my eyes went to the aircraft's thermometer, which was showing the outside temperature, and the reading shown was hard to believe. The temperature of that place amidst the cold hills of Antarctica was about 20 degrees Celsius, meaning it was perfectly suitable for humans and creatures to live. This was like a miracle or the effect of some advanced technology. I kept moving forward. Then I saw a large lion-like figure in the green meadow, and suddenly my plane began to feel light. The controls were no longer working. The engine was not running on its own power. The plane was being controlled by some other force. Then I saw 2 UFO aircrafts flying on either side of me, the same ones that came to attack our base at night. And the most shocking thing was that they had the Nazi symbols on them, which the reconnaissance pilots had mentioned earlier. A few minutes later, I realized that my plane was descending on its own. There was a glowing area below. The plane landed right there. I got out of the ship. The thermometer showed that the temperature here was normal for humans. Then some strange-looking but human-like creatures came out of that green city, and they peacefully signaled me to go with them. I had no other choice, so I went with them. They took me to their master, the same master who was the leader of this alien civilization, and who was called the Aryans. Several Nazi officers were also present in that chamber, sitting near him. The master said to me,
We want you to leave Antarctica immediately and go back and tell the world that we want to live here peacefully. This part of the Earth is ours. No one else has any right here.
If you don't do this, we will attack your Little America base and then your entire country. At that time, I understood that the Nazis had provoked Vismaster against America and the world, and now I could do nothing against their advanced technology and weapons. I had only one option, to accept defeat and return, and I did just that. The aftermath and the Antarctic Treaty. And these were the last lines that Admiral Byrd wrote in his secret diary. After that, the world was never the same. That's why, when Admiral Byrd told the American government these things, they classified all his information and hid everything from the world. But when Byrd's secret diary came out to the world after his death, everything changed. Now, the whole world noticed another strange pattern here. A pattern that no one had thought of until now. Before Operation Highjump, where America and many countries of the world were trying to assert their authority over Antarctica, the Earth's largest continent, now all those countries suddenly stopped. No big mission was being sent there, nor were any new expeditions being conducted. And only a few months after Byrd's diary came out, the whole world suddenly signed a pact together, which stated that no country could claim Antarctica. This entire continent does not belong to any one country. This pact was signed in 1959 and was named the Antarctic Treaty. This agreement clearly stated that the whole world would now use this place only for scientific research, and that too would be limited to certain parts of Antarctica, especially the coastlines. After this, all kinds of research or movement in the interior regions of Antarctica, especially the mountainous areas, were almost completely banned. Many people and researchers consider this treaty to be the result of the warning sent by Admiral Byrd to America about Operation Highjump, the warning he gave about a mysterious alien civilization hidden in Antarctica. Now, whatever the truth, even today, most of the information about Operation Highjump is classified and is only called a scientific expedition. But till today, the American government has not been able to answer the questions. Why were 5,000 soldiers, many warships, fighter planes and bombers sent to Antarctica for a scientific mission? And why was the mission, which was supposed to last 6 months, terminated in just 40 days? This is why many people still believe the things written in Admiral Byrd's secret diary. Although some people also call this diary fake, the decision is now in your hands. Tell me in the comments section below what you think. Did countries simply leave the world's largest continent as a scientific zone because of greed for power and land? Or are the things written in Admiral Byrd's diary true? Is there really an advanced alien civilization hidden under the ice of Antarctica that has provided protection to Nazi officers? What do you think? Do write your opinion in the comments section below. If you liked the video and learned something new, be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. If you are new to this channel, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. And if you liked this video, I'll meet you with the next episode. Until then, bye.